deities. Let's deal with the deities. Negroes, as was said, were deified as gods in Greek mythology. The chief title of Zeus, greatest of all, was Ethiops. That is black. Other black Venuses were melanaeous, from which is derived melanin, or the pigment in Negro skin. I don't have the source down there, but the source is J.A. Rogers.
Well, I do, buddy. I got the source right here. See, the Greeks saw the Ethiopians as gods simply because the Ethiopians were Hamites. Okay? The Ethiopians were Hamites, and all of the black people, the Minoans that you've seen in the land, were Hamites. And they were the first people in the land. The Ethiopians, the Egyptians, and the Phoenicians were the very first people in that land, dummy. This is why the Egyptian gods were the gods of those lands, because the Zeus was the Ethiopian god, dummy. He was not a Greek god. He was an Ethiopian god that was adopted by the Greeks, dummy. All right? Now, we were looking over some documents over here, over at the harvardeducation.org website. The article is Africa, Greek and Roman Perspectives with Homer and Apuleius. Early Greek contact with Africans. You see that? This dummy's thinking that they were early Greek contacts with Greeks. This is the stupidity here. This was he thinks that these were early Greek contacts with black Japhetites. Harvard clearly say that these were early contacts with Africans, and Africans are Hamites, not Japhetites. The earliest known contact between Greece and Africa occurred in the Bronze Age during the 14th century BCE. These niggas dumb, man. You understand? This here talks about the seafaring Minoans. The only people that were seafarers at that time were basically the Egyptians. Okay? And the Egyptians and the Canaanites. Wasn't nobody seafaring at that time. Alright? I want y'all to read this right here. Okay? Let's look at something here. Myths of Africa, Ethiopians. In myth, Africa appears to be a remote and mysterious place. Its people may be marked as different by their appearance and their relationship to the gods. We're talking about the Africans, see? The Africans may be marked as different by their appearance and their relationship to the gods. You can't add Japheth there. You can't add Greeks there, like the Greek gods, the Greek relationships to the gods. You see, he's talking about, in myth, Africa appears as a remote place. What are we talking about? We're talking about Africa, the subject and the predicate. You dumb nigga. You always know that the subject is always the main idea. It's always in the first fucking sentences of the paragraph, stupid. Africa is the subject, all right? Africa, its people may have been marked as different by their appearance and their relationships with the gods. It's clear, dummy. We talk about Harvard papers, Harvard scholarship here. They're saying that the Africans, stupid dummy, may be marked as different, not the Japhethites, by their appearance to the gods, not the Japhethites, not the Greeks. The Greeks didn't have any gods. Everything that they got came from black people. And these black people were Hamites and not Japhethites. He's a very foolish man. Africa not only produces those that stand apart from the rest of the human race because they're black, but may conceal those who land on its shores. So when the Minoans land on them shores, they were considered black. they were considered African, and they were Hamites because they came from goddamn Phoenicians. Stupid dummy. In this way, Africa stands apart from the rest of the world. Those who go there may experience a sort of splendid animation as they were removed from ongoing action elsewhere. The Greek term Ethiops means burnt, identifies African people as a darker skinned than the Greek counterparts. Uh-oh. See this? This is from Harvard. You see that? chs.harvard.edu. It says the Greek term Ethiops, Ethio burnt, or ops face, identifies African people as darker skinned than their Greek counterparts. So when you see those light skinned people on the pottery, those were not the Greeks. Those were the Medes, brother, the Macedonians, the Helots, white people, brother, Japhethites, brother, and the black ones were always African because the Africans were the ones who you saw darker in appearance. The place name Ethiops can denote the Upper Nile region just to the north of Egypt, plus the Sahara and areas beyond. Herodotus reserved the term Ethiops for sub-Saharan Africa. Not fucking Europe, dummy. Not Greece, dummy. In the Iliad and Odyssey, Homer's Ethiopians inhabited the edge of the earth where they are in close proximity to the sun, which has darkened their skin. In addition, they are notable for their privileged relationships with the god. It said, in addition, they are noticed for their privileged relationship with the gods. Who is he talking about? He's talking about the Africans, the Ethiopians, the ones that inhabited the edges of the earth, dummy. Not Japhethites, dummy. Not Greeks, dummy. Related to the notion of the Egyptians inhabiting the edges of the earth is the use of Africa in myth to indicate remoteness. Frequently, a visiting the Ethiopians is given for a reason for the absence of unavailability of the gods or goddesses. The Ethiopians themselves have the reputation of being usually good providers of sacrifice to the gods, not the Japhethites. It's all it just keeps saying is the Ethiopians, but you keep trying to make these gods, these Japhethites, have this relationship with this God that they never really had, brother. It was the Hamites. You was a clown and an idiot, bro. 1.4.1 Homer Iliad 1.423 424 8th century BCE Greek. That this speak to Achilles. Zeus went yesterday to ocean to a feast with the blameless Ethiopians, not the blameless Japhethites, and all the gods followed. They followed the Ethiopians, not the Japhethites, dummy. Not the Japhethites, not the Greeks. Homer Iliad 23.205-207, 8th century BCE Greek. Iris speaks to the winds. There is no time to sit. To the stream of oceans, to the land of the Ethiopians, where they are a hecatomb to the gods. They didn't say no damn Ethiopians again, brother. You keep talking about the Greeks. The Greek records talk about the gods and the relationships to the Ethiopians and the Hamites, my nigga. That's what the Ethiopian records say. You say that the Ethiopian gods were black. That's what you say. But the records don't say that. The Ethiopian records said that the Ethiopian gods were black and that they were the gods to the Ethiopians, meaning that these were the Ethiopian gods, nigga, not the damn Japhethites. Poor homework, dummy. 1.4.3 Homer Odyssey 1.22-26, 8th century BCE Greek. Poseidon's visit is an example of the special relationship between the gods and the Ethiopians, not the Japhethites, not the Greeks, This is what the Greeks are saying. You putting the Japhethites in there, dummy. But Poseidon was visiting the far-off Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Ethiopians who are divided in half, the remotest of men, some of whom live here, the sun God sets, and some where he rises. There Poseidon reading a hectacomb of bulls and rams dedicated to the sitting of the feast. 1.4.4 Hesiod Theogony, 984 to 985, 7th century BCE. Scythian Theogony recounts the genealogy of the Greeks and the origin of the world. Tuthitius, Eos, Boars, Bronze, Armored, Mignon, the king of the Ethiopians, the lord of Amethion. The Greek, this here is basically telling you that the Greeks' origin started with the Ethiopians, dude. The black people, the Hamites, all right? When he was saying that the Hamites, he was saying that the Ethiopians started with the black people. They wasn't intelligent enough to know the difference between Mizraim, Cush, Foot, and Libya. He wasn't intelligent enough for that. Okay, and Mizraim, Egypt, Canaan, Ethiopia, Libya. He was not intelligent enough for that. All he knew was all the Greeks knew what they were burnt faced, and every black man was considered an Ethiopian to them. And the only black people in the world at that time were in the area where they lived were Hamites. They were all Hamites. Okay, so this here clearly, the Hesiod Theogony clearly recounts the generation of the Greek gods and the origin of the world, and it all goes back to the Lord Amethion, king of the Ethiopians. This guy's a fucking clown. 1.4.5 Proclus Chrestomethea 2, excerpt 5th century CE Greek. Proclus gives a short summary of the events covered in the Ethiopis, an event poem that dates to the 4th century BCE. This poem was part of the epic cycle, a group of poems that together tell the story of the Trojan horse. The Iliad and the Odyssey are part of the epic cycle. The other poems are preserved only in fragments and summary. After Homer's Iliad are five the books of Ethiopis and Arctinus and Miletus. The Amazon Penthesilea, the Thracian daughter of Ares, comes to fight on the Trojan side. After earning glory in battle, she is killed by Achilles, and the Trojans bury her. Memnon, son of Eos, having armor made by Hephaestus, came to help the Trojans. There, Theseus tells her son about Magnon. The battle is joined at Antilochus is slain by Memnon. Achilles then kills Memnon. Eos, having obtained the favor from Zeus, which was another Ethiopian god we found out earlier, gives to Memnon immortality. Achilles drives back the Trojans, rushes into the city with them, and is slain by Apollos. This is crazy. You can see when it was time for the Greek gods to pick a side, the Greek gods always was on the side. The Greek gods, the black gods, were always on the side of the Hamites when they had conflict with the white Japhethites. So this guy really doesn't know what he's talking about. Anybody who follows them is just setting themselves up and just want to be fucked. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just sorry. If you want to play pussy, go get fucked. You know that we don't play them games like that with grown men over here. We teach them sound, concrete truth. Pliny Natural History 6.1187, 77 to 79 CE in Latin. Pliny's account of the origins of the name Ethiopia from eponymous king Aethiops also is related to burning. The whole people had the name of Artheria, then Atlantia, and last Ethiopia. After Ethiops, the son of Vulcan, it is no wonder that these remote places produced people and animals strange in appearance through the speed and skill of fire and mold the bodies and sculpt their features. Other parts of Africa in myth, like Ethiopia's myth involving other parts of Africa. Africa insinuate the remoteness of Africa. Lo ends her flight in Egypt. The pygmies live in Africa on the shores of the ocean. And in the version of the Troy story in which Helen does not go to Troy, Africa conceals her. See, these people had very close relationship with the Hamitic people, and this clown is trying to X the Hamitic people up out of the Greek sagas when they were the originators of these Greek sagas. You see what I'm saying? You know, this guy's trying to give all these Greeks the damn glory as if though they deserve the glory, and they don't deserve nothing. They were the followers. They were the Johnny-come-lately people. And this clown is making it like they are the originals. Them people were straight white folks, bro. And ain't nothing about what you saying is backed up by science, history, myth, or none of that shit. So when you talking about that you looking off into myth to find the realities of these myths, you're doing a very horrible job, brother. You're doing a very, 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 very horrible job. We can see all throughout here. We got sources galore, dude. I can source you to death. I'm giving you all these sources, bro. The Ovid, metamorphosis. The Ovid metamorphosis. Okay? The Isidore of Seville etymologies. Okay? The Pseudo Apollodorus Library. Okay, all of these things proved, all of these ancient stories, Homer's Iliad, all of these stories proved that the Greeks had access. Look at this. The Trojans concerning battle are compared to cranes attacking pygmies. These people have very close relationship to the Hamites, and those people that you saw in those paintings, pictures, potteries, and artwork that you harped about in your video were all Hamites, brother. And you ignorant and you stupid and you don't know history. There was a close affinity between the ancient Egyptians, Ethiopians, and the ancient Egyptians who the Greeks called Ethiopians. You's a fool, you's a clown. All of the black people, they saw them as Ethiopians. Even the Phoenicians, they gave them their alphabet, they saw them as Ethiopians. You's a real silly fuck boy. Let's go down here. You got some more stuff that's speaking against you. The Euripides of Helen. Okay? Helen describes how the images of her went to Troy while she was spirited away into Egypt. These people was constantly dealing with black Hamites, bro. And that's who you see in these pictures, bro, and on the artwork, bro. You's a fucking clown and a stupid, unlearned man. Very unlearned man. And you got the nerve to say something and make videos about me, dude? You silly. You silly and you stupid. You stupid, and I'm going to burn you, my nigga. You hear me? Homer's Odyssey. Already in the Odyssey, Helen has a connection with Egypt. It didn't say Helen had a connection with black Japhethites. You's a fucking stupid clown. You clown all throughout here. You see? All throughout here. Zeus. These were the gods. There was no fucking Greek gods. He was a clown. Everything in Greek culture testifies against you, bro. Now, I got more information. I'm just going to save some of this in case you decide you want to debate me. Okay? So I can have some more shit to just burn your goofy ass up, brother. The Greek gods are not black, bro. The Hamite gods are black. And the Greek had Hamite gods, dumb nigga.